Okay guys, welcome to your 40-second tutorial in the UDK, and in this tutorial what we're going to be doing is kind of preparing our level a little better, getting it ready so we can start working with Kismet. So the very first thing that we need to do is we need to add something called a trigger to our level. So in order to do that, go ahead where the light meets the dark on your level, go ahead and right click somewhere in there, and we want to add an actor, and the actor that we want to add is a trigger. Now what a trigger is in the UDK, it's basically like a switch in real life. It's something that your user can interact with to turn something on and off. Look at it, it even looks like a switch. That's probably why they named it trigger. So now that we have that trigger, it doesn't have any functionality yet. It's just basically sitting there on the screen. So you can tell already that this is a game element, and whenever we right click and hit play from here, then it's not going to be visible. So what we want to do is, just for testing purposes, we want that to be visible whenever we play our level. So go ahead and double click it, and we're going to change a setting in here to make sure that it's visible, and that is if you go under display, you can see by default it's hidden, and this checkbox means that it is indeed hidden whenever we play our level. If you go ahead and deselect that, then our trigger is no longer hidden. So let me go ahead and demonstrate this. If we go ahead and right click and hit play from here, we can now see our trigger whenever we're playing our game right there. So another thing that I forgot to do is actually rebuild my lighting. So I'm going to go ahead and build that, and while I'm doing that, I guess I'll talk about this. What we're going to be adding is right where the static mesh is, I'm going to be adding a toggable light. So right now we just added a regular point light, and that point light is going to stay on all the time. But this trigger right here is going to control this light, and this light's going to have the functionality to turn on and off. So we don't want to add a regular point light because point lights just stay on all the time. So what we need to do is we need to add a toggable point light, and in order to do that, here's what we do. Go up to, where is it? View, browser windows, actor classes, and expand lights, and under point lights, look for point light toggable. Now just go ahead and select that, and now that you have that selected, you can just X out of here. And now what you need to do is over by your static mesh, actually I'm just going to click anywhere, and I can move it around later. Go ahead and right click and press add point light toggable here. And whenever you add that, you get your point light toggable. And again, like I said, I'm just going to adjust it right now. Probably my top view is the easiest. Just slide that over right there. Again, you don't want it to sit right inside your static mesh, or else you're going to get some weird shadows. So just make sure it's sitting right outside your static mesh right there. So that looks pretty good. So now here's our lighting system with our regular light right here. And if we go scroll up here, we can see that the toggable light is right by the static mesh. So this is the light that we're going to be controlling with this light switch or trigger right here. So using this trigger, we're going to be turning this light on and off. However, here's what I want to do. By default, as soon as we start our level, well, it's not going to work because I didn't build my lighting, but as soon as we start our level, this light is going to be on by default, and I actually want to turn this light off by default. So as soon as we start our level, we need to turn it on. So in order to do that, you can either double click your light, or if you select it and hit F4, it's going to bring up the properties window. And now when you're looking at the light properties, go down to light, light component, and enabled right here, you can see if you hover over it says is the light enabled. This pretty much means is the light on or off by default. Now by default, whenever you add a toggable light, it's on, but we want to add that off by default, and as you can see in my level, the light shuts off. So now we have everything we have to set up for this level. We have a regular, this is basically just a working light, so when we first start a level, we're not lost in the dark. This doesn't really have any functionality that we're going to be messing with. We added our trigger that our user can run into to turn the light on and off. We have our static mesh of the light, and we have our toggable light that's going to be flickering on and off whenever we hit that trigger. So now what we need to do is hop into Kismet and actually piece everything together. So what I'm going to be doing is whenever I stop this tutorial, I'm going to rebuild my light. So make sure between this tutorial and the next tutorial that you rebuild your light too so you can follow along with me. So that's what I'm going to be doing, and in the next tutorial we're going to be hopping into Kismet and piecing all these pieces together. So thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you guys later.